Welcome back, everyone, to another market review. I hope you guys are enjoying the YouTube channel so far as we look to bring more and more content to you guys as the Trade Hunt FX brand grows and we start to develop a real relationship with you all. Hopefully, you start using us as your first port of call when you come to setting up your charts for the week ahead. And that's the point of our analysis. We aim to give you the hint and the direction as to where markets are going likely to move, and it's important that you use our analysis in alignment with your own to make good decisions in the forex market. So as always, let's start with the economic calendar for the week ahead. We've actually got a very packed schedule coming up. We have interest rates decisions coming from Australia and coming from Canada, which are likely to move the market. We also are seeing the ECB press conference on Thursday, 1:30, which will likely to move the euro for sure, as well as finishing off the week with the NFP. The NFP is a massive event. It's probably the biggest fundamental event, and it's released on the first Friday of every month. As you can see, the forecast is actually quite negative compared to what we had last month. So this could provide us with some US dollar weakness at the end of the week. However, in the lead up to this event, it's not uncommon for the markets to gain strength in anticipation of the event. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Let's go over some charts quickly. Gold is definitely one on my watch list for this week, as I am anticipating the price to move lower. As you can see, last week we did have this huge fall in price. An entry for us to go short was presented on the break of this counter trend line here. We had the breakout, retest, a continuation in the drop, with 1300 being our downside target, as the mentorship was expecting to be hit sometime last week. So going forward, any sort of pullback on this pair, I will be looking to sell, whether it be just above 1300 or maybe higher. And I think the bears are likely to be in control of this commodity for the foreseeable future. And I do actually see the price dropping down to 1250 in order to retest an ascending trend line that we've had drawn on for quite a while now. So that would be a nice move if we did manage to get it out of 1300. We can also layer this on with a Fibonacci tool, and we can see how well that area matches up. So for me, weaker gold prices over the next coming weeks, which need to be patient. We had such a violent drop off last week that this move is, you should expect this move to be retraced somewhat before the new wave of bearish activity. So it's important to be very patient and to wait for that pullback. Now, Euro JPY was a great trade that the mentorship took last week. I'll explain to you what happened. It all came about after Monday's candle close. So last week, a week today, we had a bullish breakout above this consolidation that we were technically in between 124 and 126. This Monday candle here intrigued me to start going long for the next few days, because we broke back above the moving average and we broke back above the key level. So as soon as you see something like that on a higher time frame, you drop down onto a lower time frame to find those really accurate entries. And what you want to be doing is, you see on the daily chart that we had a large bullish engulfing candle. So what you really want to do then is then wait for the pullback. So what we did was we acknowledged the breakout, we waited for the pullback, and our entries were around 128,750 with our stop losses. They were about nice and tight, 50 pips, and our take profit was up at 128. We ended up taking profit just before market close for around 130 pips. But you can see how well this trade played out. Now, I do expect the price to hit 12800 at some point, which gives us quite a nice potential long opportunity coming later on this week if we do get a pullback. You can see how this market is moving nicely in these waves now. So I am anticipating something like this. Something like this during this week will be very nice. What we like to do here at Trend FX is we would enter in the fib reversal zone. We'd put our stops 15 to 30 pips below the 78.6 level. So we're looking around a 40 to 50 pip stop loss. And obviously the take profit will be up at the D1 extension or up at 12800, which is the next key level. So that's very simple how you sort of acknowledge what happened the week before. We managed to catch 130 pips, we took our positions off the table, and now we're simply looking to re-enter the position. Obviously we don't want to re-enter at a high, we want to be buying at the lowest possible price, and we want to be selling at the highest possible price. So let's be patient, wait for a pullback around to 12625, and then look to go long over the next week or so. Pound Aussie as well. What we can see that's happened last week was obviously we had a huge run to the upside. I think it was over 500, 600 pip move. So we had this huge impulsive move to the upside last week. But again, after an impulsive move, what we need to look for is a retracement before looking to get in on that original move. And we can see with Pound Aussie that we are actually moving very nicely into these highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and we've created a new high last week. So I'm now expecting a new higher low to form, whether that be at 1.8500 or whether that be at 1.8250. That is obviously up for discussion. We can see that the fib does line up nicely with 1.8250, so it could be possible that the price rolls over from here to the downside. But I think if we look at the price as a whole, we can see how bullish we have been. So I think a shallow pullback may be all we can get on this pair. Now I don't particularly like trading before 2 p.m. on a Monday, basically because I like to let the market settle. But we did have a valid setup present itself a couple of hours ago on this pair. Here in the mentorship, we also like to use a tool called the daily high and low, which all the members know how to utilize it. And it's very good to pick entries, especially early in the morning, around sort of 7 to 10 a.m. GMT. This indicator comes in very useful. And what we have seen is the price has now driven multiple times into this high, 1, 2, 3 times into 1.8700, and rejected off this level each time. So there was a sell opportunity that was presented on the close of this 1 hour candle where we formed the spinning top, and the members were highlighted to this. So if they took the risk, they would be up 50 pips at the moment, and this whole trade gives us take profit 1 would be at the low of the range here, whereas take profit 2 down to 1.8500. And then potentially if we break that, we could hold all the way down to 1.8250. But this is a nice trade here. Potential to catch 200 pips early on in the week. Running 50 pips in profit at the moment. So well done for anyone in the group who took that. US dollar CAD as well. Again, this is a good example of how technicals and fundamentals do work well together. I'm definitely a technical based trader, but I understand that the fundamentals are there to drive the price into specific areas. It's almost like the gas in the car. You need the fundamentals to fill up the car with gas and then allow it to make its move. We were talking in the mentorship about how the price had been making these discrete lower high lows, high low, high low, high low in the fib reversal zone, and we were expecting the price to make its way up to 1.3400. This catalyst, however, was the news, and we weren't able to catch this unless you took speculative entries down there. As you can see, the price continued with its momentum to the upside. I was looking over the weekend for this potential pullback here. Look to go long. Whenever you see a fast impulsive move like this, you sort of need to use your common sense and just say, look, it's so aggressive here. I very much doubt we're going to get a deep pullback, so we need to be vigilant and just try and expect those shallow pullbacks. I personally wouldn't have taken a trade on a shallow pullback because I like those deep pullbacks into the 61.8 to 78.6 level. So if we did get the pullback down to here, from around here, that would interest me greatly to go long from there. But as I said, I doubt we are going to get that. I do think we're just going to rush straight to 1.3400. Unfortunately, with no pullbacks, no chance for us to execute a position to go long. What else are we looking at? Euro US dollar. It looks like it has missed our setup as well. What we were looking at in the mentorship group was the possibility of us opening a little bit higher this week. So what I would have liked was a push up. What I was looking for was a push up to retest this counter trend line for a third time. A push up to there, because not only do we have this counter trend line here, where we would have formed that third touch, we also have the fib reversal zone, and I like the price to form deeply into this fib reversal zone. So maybe a possible play at the start of this week was for the price, which opened around here, was that the price spiked up a little bit higher into this liquidity spot here, where we could have looked to have taken sales out of that area and trading it down to there. Unfortunately, it does look like the price has simply moved without us, which is fine. What this means that we'll just let this price action play out, and then maybe come back and check this pair around the London session tomorrow would make more sense. So then any potential pullback, maybe back up to 1.1350, we could then look to enter the market short there. But I am definitely on the downside for Euro US dollar. I do think we can complete this whole fib move. We've got an A into a B into a C before forming the D leg, and that's the leg that we always like to trade, is the D leg of an A B C D move. So we're looking to unfold the D leg. Targets will be down a D1 extension, which are over almost 200 pips away. So unfortunately, we didn't get our desired setup, but we still need to be vigilant. Still keep this on our watch list for any pullbacks back up into 1.13500. Then we can look to short this pair to the downside. So a few nice setups coming on this, come on the market this week, definitely. I think JPY pairs are in for some sort of breather from the impulsive move. So EJ is already coming down into our potential area where we can look to buy from. GJ as well, we could potentially look to see a move down to 14500 before the continuation. So yeah, a lot of nice moves. I will be posting another video in the YouTube channel on Wednesday, Thursday, just to summarize what has happened so far. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions about what we're posting, I put my email address in the comments below. So you just drop me an email and I'll get back to you to try and answer any of your queries. So let's have a good trading week and let's catch some pips.